Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's episode of Learning to Code, I guess, we're going to be looking at selections. So what do I mean by selections? Well, that covers if, else, else if, and then we're going to be using those to create a program that selects a certain parameter based on user input. So we're just going to get straight into coding, and I'm going to explain how ifs, else, and else ifs work. You're probably already familiar with how they work if you watched the programming concepts video. So let's just get straight into that basically straight away. So the first concept I'm really going to be covering here is an if statement. So the way this works is it's evaluated using a Boolean, and a Boolean is something that's true or false. So if this expression that is here is true, then what we want to do is run this statement and this statement here. That's the general layout, I guess is the best way of describing it, of how an if statement works. You have an expression that's evaluated to be true or false, and then you basically run some statements underneath. When writing if statements, it's useful to use comparatives. So those are operators that basically compare two items. So how do you combine this with a else? So if you do this is true, run this, else, say, what happens if something is not true? We want to do this, and this statement is your code. So if something is odd, print odd, else print even, because there's only one of two things it can be. So that's the basic way of structuring if and else statements. On top of that, you have else if. So the way that works is you run first an if the number is 0, print 0, else, well, in Python it's elif, which stands for else if this expression is also true, run this. And then you can have another one, else if this expression is also true, run this. And then finally, if none of the expressions above are true, just run this statement. That's the general gist of how to write a structured evaluative program. Another thing that you can use is if you want after each if is run, then you want it to break, for example, you can just type break here, and that will, as simple as it sounds, it just breaks out of the program essentially. It can stop a for loop or something early, depending on the outcome. So that's something to keep in mind. So what we're going to be doing here is writing our first selective statement program. So what that's going to be is you're going to search for the month of you're going to check how many days are in the month, and it'll tell you which month that is. So the way we're going to code this basically is print. I'm just going to put a statement here of what the program does. Check if days in month. Yeah. So you're going to type something in and it will tell you how many days are in the month. So what I want from the user is a string input, enter month, and then month equals month dot lower. So if in the last video you were listening, I said that we will lowercase text just so you can compare it. If I write June with a capital J and you write it with a lowercase, we want both of those statements to essentially be read. So if month equals January, I'm going to print 31 days, Jan, else if month equals February, print 28 days. And we're basically going to keep going all the way down through every single month, but I'm just going to show you how this works with just two. So test underscore 6. So if I enter a month, January, it returns 31 days in January. And the same works if I was to run the program again and wrote February. 28 days in Feb. So that's all it is really on how to understand selections and how to use them. You can write out every single month and you'll have a program that can tell you instantly how many days there are in each month. And that's all there is really to selections. It's a really simple concept that can be understood from just looking at 3 different selections. And that's all there is for this video essentially. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this coding video. It was a nice short quick one, and you can hopefully all have a application that you can now run of selecting how many days there are in each month. So I'll see you guys next time.